Hey guys, we'll get started in about 5 minutes. Cindy is going to take over first and talk to you guys about home parties, and then Zoe Kelling is going to talk to you guys about vendor events. So we'll get started in about 5 minutes. If you guys have any specific questions as we're going through this, there is a chat button if you haven't been on Zoom before, and you can type in some specific questions, and I'll kind of try to watch it while they're doing their teaching, presentation, whatever you want to call it.
Say hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
Who's talking? Oh, hey!
Honey.
Hi, I said Landon.
Lily.
Hi, Landon. Look at that blonde hair.
Doesn't he? Do you see Kate in him at all, like we do?
Yeah, I think he resembles Kate a lot.
Her name's Kate. Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Julie, are you feeling better? You look miserable. Hi, Zoe.
Is anybody saying anything? Because I'm trying to listen with my headphones in the car, so I can't tell if they're working.
Nope, we haven't started yet. We're going to give it about 2 more minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we'll get started then.
Okay, I just wanted somebody to say something so I could make sure it works. So thanks, Ash.
Yep, you're welcome. Okay, this is totally off topic, but I love our energy drinks, and I drink, where'd I go? I drink our energy drinks all the time, but I cannot drink them at night or I'll bounce off the walls. This is like my new favorite. They sell them in like packs at Sam's, and they're only 5 calories, and they're all natural sugar. So I like them. Kaylee, we have, oh, never mind. Sorry, you private messaged me that. Kaylee, we haven't started yet. We'll start in about 2 minutes. We don't normally start till 8.
Okay, you have to say it really loud.
Okay, Cindy, you want me to go ahead and mute everybody, and then you can unmute yourself? Mute all. Okay,
Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good. I'm going to mute myself.
Enjoy the parties and having parties. All of my kids are grown and gone at this point, so parties for me are like really social, and it's a way for me to build my business really quickly. And so I would like later on maybe to have another Zoom where I actually walk through an entire party if any of you all want to do that. But tonight, because we only have like an hour between this meeting or between this call and the next call that we need to make, and Zoe's going to talk, we just don't have time for both of us to do that because Zoe and I are both talkers. So I apologize up front for that. I don't know if you guys can see, but I've kind of set my countertop up a little bit, kind of like what I would do for a party. So if you can see that, that's one of the most important things that I think is be prepared and just be on time and arrange your products on your table or your countertop or whatever you're going to use. Arrange it where it's easy for you to get to and it's in groupings. Like I have all of my It's Vital together. I didn't set up all of my products, but I set up just one bag. I have all of my It's Vital together. I have my greens together. I have my miscellaneous products over here that are just like, they don't really go with anything. And then I would have like my ThermoFit and my Fat Fighters. I typically would have that around my greens area. And then I would have all of my facial line in a separate, like on a little cute plate or arranged somehow like that. I didn't get any of that out yet. But that's one of my tips is just be on time, have everything arranged where it's easy for you to get to. And I just usually take a catalog and I go right through the catalog. The very first thing I do before I ever get started ever is say, is there anybody here who's interested in doing what me and Jamie are doing, or, you know, whoever I'm hosting a party for? Randy, can you put him outside? And so then I will, almost always they will say no, nobody there wants to be a distributor. And I kind of go into a little bit of the spiel about how we handle that and what we do. And then I say, just, you know, think about it. And we're going to talk about that again at the end of the party as well. And so then I go through the whole product line and everything that we're doing. I go through the catalog. So everybody has a catalog in their hand. I take those with me. And I hand one out to everybody, and they can go through the catalog. They can look at them before we ever start. And then as we go along through the whole party, they can read up on the products and ask me any questions that they have or whatever. So I go through and do that. And the next tip I would say is just to know your products. So even if you don't have all of them in your kit and you don't have to have everything, you can easily do a party with the wraps that you got in your kit or with the products that you're using on a daily basis. Don't feel like you have to have all of the products before you can ever go out and have parties, because that's not the case. You can do it with what you actually have in stock. But know what the products are and what they're used for, and do your research and your homework on that. So if people ask you, you can come back and say something, or have testimonials. Like I say about a lot of products that I don't use. I say, I'm just honest. I don't use that product, but I can tell you in my team meetings, this is what I'm hearing about it. Or if I really don't know what the answer to what they're asking, I just say, I don't know that. I haven't ever encountered that. I haven't ever been asked that. But I tell you what, we have this big, huge group, and I will put my message out to them, and I will try to get a message back for you or get an answer for you on that. So I think that's another really important thing, just to be confident and able to talk about all of the products that we have in our line and what they do for you. The other thing that I would say is know your audience. And so you're a lot of times going into a group of people you don't know. You may not know anybody in that house at all. But what I try to do is find out like the age group. Are we going to have a mixed age group? Is everybody going to be, you know, in their 20s and 30s? Is everybody going to be in their 50s and 60s? Those different age groups use different products. And so what is important to the younger people, the older people may not be interested in at all. But you still want to touch on every single one of those products that is in the catalog, because there may not be anyone in that room who's interested in Estro Rhythm or who needs Estro Rhythm. But they may all have a mother or a grandmother or somebody that they go, you know what, that would be so beneficial for that person that's in my family. And then they can take that back to them and they can talk to them about it, or they can, you know, refer them to you or whatever. So you want to be sure you hit on everything in the catalog and all of the products that we have to offer, but you don't want to spend all of your time and concentrate on products that aren't really going to benefit the people that are in the room with you. Another thing that I would say is just be honest with people. Like, I will never lie to somebody just to make a sale. And sometimes the people at my parties, almost every party I do, the people at my parties actually get really humored by me because I actually have built my kit up and I have everything that we have in the catalog with the exception of the cleanse. I don't have my cleanse yet. But the one product that we have in there is the meal bars. I think those are the nastiest things ever. And I tell people during my parties all the time, like, I take one at each party and I cut it into little pieces and have it on a plate so we can pass it around and everybody can try it. But when I'm talking to them about it, I tell them, look, I don't care for this product. I tell people if I was stranded in a snowstorm, I might eat that. Otherwise, it's just not my thing. And people really appreciate that because they feel like you're not just trying to flower it up and make it sound like all of our products are so perfect. And sometimes they even like call me out on it. Like, that's not a very good salesman. And I just look them straight in the face and say, I will not lie to you to sell a product. I have tried this product. I could eat it if I had to. It's never going to be my choice. There are lots of our products that I love and I think are fabulous products. But this is just not a product I like. But I want you all to try it because at almost every party, I will find someone who actually really likes it. Or they like the raspberry and the dark chocolate together. Or they like, for me, a lot of our products are about the consistency of them. And that's why I can't do them. I don't care for green chews. And I know they're like so good for us and that I should use them. But it's the consistency of it. I don't like it. One of the things I think that you can do, and it's easy to do if you have, I'm Team Berry. If my distributor that I'm holding the party for is Team Orange, that's kind of a friendly little competition or whatever that you can get where you can say, that's just drawing attention to the fact that we have a variety of products and that they're not all for everyone. I'm Team Berry, she's Team Orange, but we brought samples because we want everybody to make up their own mind about that. So just be honest with people because they will value that and then they will trust you and they will want to buy from you because they know you're not going to just lie to them and tell them that you love something that you don't just to make the sale. Our products are quality enough that you don't have to lie to people about them, and it's okay to say I don't like everything we have in our product catalog. And so I'm just honest with people. Another thing I would say is that don't let the fact that you don't have all of the products, and we touched on this earlier, hold you back from having parties. Go with what you have. Use the products that you have. Go through the catalog and just make sure that you're in tune with what we do have and what we do offer. That is one way that you can at least talk to all of the people and maybe hit on something that everybody in that room would need. I would say one of the most important things for helping you to build your kit, if you're looking to do parties, if you're serious about doing parties to build your business, I would suggest building a kit. But you do not have to build that kit in a month. It probably took me 6 months to build my kit. But the very first thing that I did that was most important to helping me build my kit and my business was getting my 4 loyal customers in those first 30 days. And I would say don't even wait 30 days. Like, start immediately. Run with the momentum that you have. If you can sign those first 4 loyal customers, that was really hard for me to say, in a week, you're even better off. And then take that $120 in free product that you have and invest that back in your business. So for me, what I did was I bought products that I could use either to build my business, greens on the go, greens chews, things that I could pass out and build my business, or things that I wanted to put in my kit because I knew all along that I want to build this up and start doing parties. That's just my thing. So get those first 4 loyal customers as quickly as you can. The other thing that I would say, I don't know what the code is exactly, but I think there's a 20% discount code that you can use for the first time that you order from the It Works store for products like business products. So for your catalogs, for your Blitz cards, for those kinds of things, there's a code that you can use. You can order those, and those are just great to have, especially if you're going to do parties. You want everybody to have a catalog to be able to look at. So I'm getting ready to order new catalogs because I have the old catalog, and I think we've put out at least 3, maybe 4 new products that aren't in my catalog yet. So I'm getting ready to order new ones just because I want everything to be in there so I don't miss anything as I go through the party. So I would say take advantage of that 20% discount, and we can figure out what that code is for you. And the other thing that I would say is, if you're, some of you need to start thinking about, you're going to be pushing for $1,000 Ruby bonus. And so what happens sometimes when we're pushing for that bonus is that we get to a point where we're short 200 in volume on various different distributors down underneath us. So you need a plan right now that you may have to spend $200 to get a $1,000 bonus, but don't lose your $1,000 bonus for $200 in volume. So if you've got to buy out that volume, I would buy out things that I need to go in my kit, one of each of whatever it is that you want to start building your kit, to build that kit up. So as I got to a month and I didn't know, so I don't need this product or that product at this time because I'm good on those. If I didn't know what I was going to spend my ADBV on, or if I needed to buy out volume to make my rank that month, I would just use that additional funding that I needed and actually
Cindy,
buy product. Yeah.
I'm going to mute everybody again real quick, so you'll have to let me unmute you.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, no problem. So just as I was saying, just plan for that, because that does happen. It comes up in our business. It's just the nature of our business that there are times when you will have to buy out some volume, and take advantage of those times to build your business and to reinvest back into your business so that you are not just wasting it on stuff that you really don't need or stuff that's going to sit in your kit or whatever. Reinvest it back in and plan smart. And also, like, I try to look at the things that I get the same BV that cost me money. If I need them in my kit, then that's what I want to invest in because it's the best investment for my dollar. So just things like that. And I don't know, I mean, that's about all of the tips I have for how to build your kit and how to have parties without going into how I actually do a party. But does anybody have any questions?
If you have questions, you can unmute yourself, or you can write in the chat log. And if not, we'll go ahead and move on to Zoe, and then we can always open up for questions at the end too.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, Zoe, we'll just let you go ahead and go. And then if people have questions at the end, we can open up for questions then. Thanks, Cindy.
Sure, thank you.
Thanks, Cindy. You did an amazing job. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Hearts, everybody. You have a good day? Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to talk vendor fairs. This is something I've done for years. And so it's something I'm very comfortable with. So adding an It Works booth to these health fairs and fairs that I already went to was nothing out of the norm, but it is kind of a little fun and it's different, kind of gets you out of the box and it kind of gets you into that cold market. So I'm just going to kind of run through some tips and how to actually do a vendor fair. I don't know how many of you maybe in your chat can kind of tell, kind of say who's all done a vendor fair, or if you have done one, where you've done it, so that people can kind of maybe look at that chat to see where you've been. I typically just do health fairs, but there's a lot of craft fairs that are out there. There's a lot of bridal showers. There's all sorts of different things that you can be at. How you get in, first off, is how do you find these places? So wherever you are, if you go into the Chamber of Commerce, a lot of them have Facebook pages. They'll tell you the different events that are happening. For instance, in Jefferson City, there's a magazine called the Her Magazine, and it will show you all sorts of different events that are happening in Jefferson City. If you're in a school district, your kids' school might be doing a vendor fair or craft fair type of a thing. A lot of them are free. You can find a lot of them that are free. There are some that will cost you up to $500. A bridal shower can be $5,000 to $1,000 a booth, which is insane for just a table. You have to be able to be at a place and be able to work that to where you can make that back. So if you're going to put some money out, you need to make sure that you could make that money back. I typically do free ones. I'm in a circle of ones that I've done year after year after year. There's probably about 15 total that I do in a year. Everywhere from the county health nurse's office to Ameren's power plant to Dollar General to AZZ to, and these are like manufacturing places, to a senior citizens expo that's happening. So whatever town that you're in, you just kind of need to start tapping into what those expos are. If you can get in with a friend or get in with somebody who has like a chiropractic clinic like we do and say, hey, what vendor fairs are you going to? That's where I get my next leads, is my people that are the other vendors there. I'm like, hey, where are you going next? And then that's how we kind of buddy up and we kind of figure out where all these events are. So that's kind of how you find them. It's not for everybody, but it doesn't mean that you can't do it. It is so simple that all you're doing is just meeting people. You have all been to a fair, I can guarantee, at some point in time. You've all been to a craft fair. You've all been to, you know what it is when you go walk by a table and what you want to see, if you breeze by because it looks terrible or that kind of a thing. So here are just some tips. I'm going to start out with ready for an expo. And actually, I printed this off. This is a sheet that is in the Legacy Makers files that says ready for expos. If you were to print this off, this is exactly what I'm going to train on tonight. So I just highlighted a few points, and I'm just going to go over that. So this is for vendor fairs, expos, and wedding shows. Ashley, can you just kind of watch my time for me? I just don't want to go over my time so you guys get on the other call. Okay, so to start out with, you need to be able to make it look good. Okay, so a vendor fair is basically you're putting up a table and you're putting some things on that table. Visually, it needs to be eye-pleasing. When I go to a vendor fair, if something looks junky, I just breeze by. So this is a picture, and I'm going to kind of hold this up. This is my niece, Kara. And can you all see that? This is a picture of her doing a health fair. And we invested in a banner. The banner is in the It Works store. What I do for my team is that I let them borrow this anytime that they want to. I borrowed Ashley's, I think, so many times. I said, I think I need to get my own. So I got my own. We just did a blank tabletop, black tabletop. And she's obviously in her It Works gear. Different things on the table. A couple things that we have on the table that's eye-catching. People want to see pictures. People want to see those before and afters. Now we've got beautiful before and afters that you can print off and put in a big, nice 8x10 picture frame. That will draw people to look at what those results are. Chelsea Suggett, I think she's on this call tonight. She does a lot of my vendor booths with me. She has got a picture of her legs, like 4 different views, and it's just amazing. And she can hold that and say, these are my legs. It's kind of awkward, but yet they're like, oh, really? Those are your legs? I mean, it's definitely personal at that point. So those are kind of some nice things to be able to have on there. You don't need to have it extravagant. The simpler, the better, because the more stuff you have on the table, it's too much for them to see. You typically have 30 seconds to snag that person to actually have a conversation with you. I've been in vendor fairs where there's just multiple people just zooming by, and you have literally 30 seconds while they're on their lunch break to look to see what you have. So this is like a mini party in 30 seconds. So if you're a rock star at explaining what the company is, show them a picture of what we do, and then how do they get started with it. So some other things on the table is obviously we have like what Cindy was talking about in your kit, to be able to have some extra bottles of different things that are kind of like just to display here. Other things that we've had before are the greens, and I staple my business card to the green, to a green sample. Obviously, you got to be able to make make the investment in having some greens to be able to hand out. Or chews. Chews are really good. I mean, I can sell chews to anybody who tries one. I mean, it's just, they're not very big BB, but yet it gets people in the door started. If they have kids, I have them their kids try it, and then I ask them, what supplements do they take at home for their kids? And I focus totally on their kids because this is what they're doing. So, I could go into multiple different things of what I like to sell the most of, but whatever you're passionate about and whatever you love, whatever you like, the greens, you like whatever, you will be able to sell the best. And literally you need to do it really, really fast. Blitz cards and product catalogs are important. You have to make that investment to buy, those 100 packs of catalogs. I think I have probably bought an insane amount of catalogs because I just hand them out like candy, because I figure if they don't get that in their hands of all the different products, I don't know how many 31 catalogs I own, and I put them by my chair and I look at them every once in a while. So I'm thinking, you know what, that's going to go home, and sometime they're going to look at it again and see what other products are in there. So visually, a lot of people like to see things rather than go online to browse your website. So product catalogs are great, and that's what Cindy was talking about, and now they've got the new ones out as well. Okay, so let's go on to, like I said, you don't want to have a lot of extra stuff on your table. I like to draw people in with a raffle. Everybody loves to win something. They don't care what they're winning. You could give them a Tootsie Roll, and as long as they put their name in a bowl, they're going to want, they want to win something. So in Legacy Makers, again, these are entry forms. You can print them off. They're in color. It says It's a Wrap official entry. On the bottom here, it has them. For enable to enter to win, they have to answer these 4 questions. I would like more information. I have friends that would be interested. I'm considering hosting a party for a free wrap, and I'm interested in a business opportunity. These are essential to kind of know what you're doing. I watch them as they're filling these out. If they say they'd like more information, I go right into what kind of information would you be wanting. And then if they're willing to stand there and talk to me, great. The other thing is I'm considering hosting a party for a free wrap. I want to get that on the book as fast as we can, right then and there. I have friends who will be interested. If they have friends that they'll be interested, then why not they have a party? So that's where you are watching them do this, and you can actually get a lot of leads right from here. One big thing, as you can tell on this picture, is I've done a lot of health fairs in the past. You do not sit behind your booth. If you sit behind your booth and you're doing one of these things and looking to see people, you are not engaging in in them. So I always say I have a 10-foot radius. Anybody that enters that, I have them captivated. Let's just put it that way. So I will talk to you as long as you stand in my 10-foot radius. So sometimes it's hard to get away from me, but that's okay. Raffles, I do those. Really, everybody wins. I know that there's been some, you will have those that you call everybody and you tell them they win a wrap party or whatever, and they're like, yeah, well, whatever, and then you never get anything signed. I feel like you have to give them something. So and this is what Kara and I would do. I'm sorry, people who entered into some of my raffles before, but I hand pick who wins. So if they fill one of these out and she looks like a rock star, when she hands it to me, I write on the back winner and I stick it in the thing. Sorry, I'm kind of partial, but sometimes I will just do that and then I'll give her a free wrap, or I'll say 5 days worth of greens. It gives them a week's worth of something to try. So that's what I do for the winners. A couple other things to have on your table is the Blitz cards. And in this expo thing, which we have actually done in our clinic as well, is that there's the power of the $20 bill. Everybody almost has a $20 bill on their purse. Well, the Blitz cards are how much? 25. Okay, so in this Ready for Expos, it was funny when I turned to the page, it says Pricing is important. We started at 25 and had 0 interest. We dropped the price to 20 and it exploded. Okay? So $20 price. You can hold up the coupon and say, I've got a coupon for $25, but if you want to wrap today, I'll give it to you for 20. They'll pull a 20 out of their purse. It's just kind of the nature of how that all works. Some other things to do is that you will run across people that are like, oh yeah, I tried that crazy wrap thing about, 6 years ago, didn't work. Well, Ashley can tell you in her story, she had a wrap that was super, super old, and yeah, she tried it, and did it really work? So you need to kind of dive in to kind of find out, oh, well, how did that work for you? When did you get that? Things have changed. There's so many other products now. You need to be able to explain to them correctly what it is. They might have won it somewhere, didn't even know how to use it, all that kind of thing. So you need to be fluent in all of the products and what they actually mean. Another thing I have on my table is I have a notebook that actually has a printout of every single product there, in case you get that one person that's like, well, I'm gluten and lactose tolerant and blah, 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 blah. Well, they can look right on the product sheet to see what they are. And you will have those type A people that are just like, sign me up, and those other types that are just like, I've got to have 10 pages worth of information to be able to see what's in this product. You have it right there. And they'll be the ones that stay at your table and look at it, and let them do that. The other thing here is to staff your booth well. Do it with a friend. I do this. Chelsea and I will do it together. Kara and I will do it together. You can bounce off each other's things. It's always fun to do it together. And then you just share, like if you get loyal customers off of it, or if you get distributors off of it, then you just share those customers. Wrap and go bags. Chelsea does a really good job with this, is displaying like little gift bag type things. Like you can do a water bottle and put a green in it and a wrap in it. That way if they want to buy it right on the spot. You will do this a lot when you're at craft fairs, because ladies have a pocket full of cash with them when they go to craft fairs. They're wanting to purchase things and have it right on hand. My other thing, okay, so then they say, well, how much is everything? Well, I am the distributor who tells everybody the retail price. Not everybody does that, but I do that because I think that it shows people how much you're saving and that you're actually getting at my cost when you sign up. So people say, well, what do I need to do to get that box of greens that you just talked to me about? Well, I have a loyal customer form that is right here. All of you should know where these are. It's in your eSuite. I go right down here to the on-the-go greens when they're talking to me about it, and I'll point to it and I'll say right here that the on-the-go berry greens are going to be $59, and they look at me and they go, oh my gosh, that's really a lot of money. And then I'll say, but you could get it at my cost for 40% off if you sign up as a loyal customer. So then it only makes it $35. Isn't that great? That's a great bargain. You want to go ahead and get signed up? I do it right like that. You go right into it. And then they're like, then I talk to them about, now to get them to become a loyal customer and 40% discount, you order something for 3 months. And I kind of go into that spiel at that point. But I use that retail pricing because they see how much discount everybody wants to get something at a discount. So when they get a 40% discount and they're actually getting what my discount is, then that helps me seal the deal. But that's how I function with that. I also have distributor forms because I was at a health fair not too long ago that a gentleman walked up to me. He was a maintenance worker, and he said, oh, is this my daughter's booth? And I said, oh, no, I don't think this is your daughter's booth. I said, it's my booth. And turned out he was the father to an Ambassador Diamond who was in our area, and he knew absolutely nothing about the business. So I got to share with him about the business. I did not sign him up. I was very polite about that. But you know what? He wanted to see one of these. He'd never seen one of these from his own daughter. So you never know who's going to be thinking that maybe this is a business for them. And then you can actually have a form, because if you don't have any forms or any literature out there or anything, people are like, so is this really legitimate? I don't know. On our phone, we can do that. I've done other things too, where if they want to friend me on Facebook, I'll hand them my phone and say, can you go ahead and, find yourself on Facebook, and I'll friend you. That way I can message you later. So we've done that before too. Just got a few more things on a table. Note, this is just a personal note on whenever I have done a health fair before or any other type of thing, vendor booth, I always sign the first person and I always sign the last person up as either a patient when I'm doing a health fair or or anything along that line. It's interesting because you'll get the other vendors when you're setting up. Those are your cold market as well. You start getting to know those people because you're spending the entire day next to these people. I will either get them signed up or it's the very last people because everybody loves to get out of there about a half an hour ahead of time. Well, I stay until the end, and then there's normally those people that float through that I always get signed up at the end. So that's kind of another little tip that I know it's a long day and sometimes you just want to get away from that, but that's kind of the law of doing a vendor fair is it's the first and the last. The other thing is when you're all done with this health fair and you get home and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't have anybody come today. I didn't have anything happen today. Here is your cold messaging. Every single one of these little things of paper, you have got to call them. I know it's really easy to Facebook message them or email them or, because you don't want to be on your phone, but the best thing to do is to actually get the phone number from them and actually give them a call and say, hey, it was really good to see you today. And once again, I pick my winners and I tell them that they won and then I meet with them and that kind of a thing. So that's really all I have about the vendor fairs. I hope you got some really good information from all of that. I hope it's not fearful. I see a lot of chats going on here, so I'm not doing a really good job at looking at these.
I have a question, Zoe.
Yeah.
So I did like the Hartsburg Pumpkin Festival, and that was really challenging. Yeah, that was a big one to bite off. What is your thought? Like, I think things like that, people really just want inventory. They're like, I had a lot of people come through, and they're like, I want to buy this today. So that was my biggest challenge. So what is your suggestions on that?
Well, you can have wraps available that are ready to go.
I did have wraps available. Whoa.
I would suggest with people walk into our clinic all the time and are wanting things in there. One thing I do is I tell them they're going to get it within a week. And like for the greens, I'll give them a week's worth to get them going, and then they'll get theirs. But really, I'm promoting that 40% discount because then you get them as a loyal customer. Mm-hmm. So that's the Hartsburg Pumpkin Festival. Yeah, that's a big, insane one, and people are there to buy. That's a big one to chew. I would just focus on getting your contacts and getting a winner type of a thing, but talking to people about the product. So, and if they wanted it then, if you were to call them the next day and you're on your computer and say, hey, I'm signing up a bunch of people on my computer right now. Would you like me to put you in and get you some of those on the Go Greens coming to you right away? And then go from there.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yep. Thanks.
So you were talking about the bottles I don't have a wrap in this one right now, but with the green sample, and you can throw a greens chew, throw your Blitz card in there. You can also do these for, vendor events or parties, because I feel like it kind of gives them something to shake their greens up in. So I bought like the stock out that they had at the Dollar Tree or whatever, but they always pretty much have lime green shaker bottles.
Yep. And samples, I didn't talk about samples either. You can have on the Go Green samples. I always do it in a juice. I don't do it in water because unless you really like that taste, I'll put it in cranberry apple juice. But I put them in cold, and I'll have like a bucket there with ice, and I'll put them down in there, and then I'll shake it up and then pour them out in a little Dixie cup. That's a really simple way to test that out, or the Profit too. You can sample the Profit. If people can taste it, then they'll be more apt to buy it. So the green chews are really good to have on hand, but then again, you have that investment there. They get a little bit more costly if you're just handing those out like candy. And people will come and take like handfuls, so you don't lay out everything. You physically hand them one.
Yeah, I definitely would say do.
Anyone else have any?
I would definitely say do the green samples and just let them taste them. That's another thing. Dollar Tree has they're like little lime green shot glasses too that you can buy in like bulk too to have those. But I know like Cindy does for parties too. She'll even make the like a ProFit recipe of the protein balls or something, just so people can see that you don't just have to drink the protein. And the ProFit balls are addicting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And there's all those recipes on the It Works. Isn't it the It Works Global? I've printed out a bunch of those.
Yeah, you can also go on like Pinterest and type in It Works ProFit and it'll come up with hundreds.
Yeah.
Hey,
So hopefully you can go out there and try doing one of these. It'll be fun.
Zoe, something somebody asked is just that initial, like, you said you have 30 seconds to catch somebody's attention. What would be an example of what you would say as they're walking by your booth to pull them back in to get their attention? Like,
I'd say, have you heard of that crazy wrap thing?
okay.
And then if they say no, then I say, well, we're a health and wellness company. And then I just kind of dive into maybe one of our signature products. I go right into it. So it would be like, hey, we've got this on the go greens is, so many servings of fruits and vegetables. Do you get that in your daily diet? If you ask them a question, then they will click in their brain that they've got to engage in you. So you just can't like what at them. But if you ask them a question, then they will come back to you with some sort of comment. And not a yes or no question, because if you can kind of engage that conversation a little bit more. I don't know if you've ever been by, some of these tables that are like insurance guys where they're handing you a pen. They really don't engage in a conversation. So that's where you just need to engage in a conversation. I always will say, hey, cute purse. I love that purse. And then women are just like, oh, thank you. I mean, or, like cute hair, anything like that. It's just kind of learning how to be a little social. Even, your social skills just kind of have to be complimenting, and people will love to talk to you.
I agree. Does anybody else have any questions? No? All right, guys. Well, if anybody has questions that aren't about even parties or vendor booths, if we could probably take like 5 minutes of questions if anybody has anything they want to talk about. We could do Carly asked, how do you market to college kids? I would follow Courtney Bohr, B-O-H-R. She is she started this business. She's still a full-time college student and works it completely from her cell phone. And she was in like the top 60 for income earners in the company. She's been in less than 2 years. So you can kind of see how she markets on her Facebook. But I mean, college kids are on their phones nonstop. So
2 colleges that are in Fulton both have vendor fairs. They have fairs all the time. They're going to be more like health conscious fairs, like they'll have an eye doctor there, or they'll have some things like that. I contacted like either the human resource people there or the student life, because they'll actually have different things that you can be involved in on campus as well. The students will come through as well. And they're all about like the energy drinks and the ProFit and all that kind of thing as well. So you just need to contact the right person and find out if they're having any fairs. You just call them fairs. They know what you're talking about.
Awesome. Hey, I saw too, somebody else, Casey Tosi just posted, she's a presidential who actually tried to recruit me for a couple of years. She teamed up with a salon. She gets eyelash extensions done, and she teamed up with a salon that was doing waxing, eyelash extensions, and I think spray tans. And they all went in together and had like a ladies' night out at the salon. And she went and she sold body wraps for $20 a piece, I think. But it brought like that whole little connection. And I know Daphne Waters and Brandy Sullivan do some with one of their friends owns a clothing boutique. And if you buy a wrap, then you get like 15% off of your, purchase at a store. So sometimes you can just talk to local businesses too and see if they want to team up with you and have like a ladies' night out or something also.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually doing a ladies' night out in our office this next Friday. We have probably 8 or 10 different people that are going to be there, along with obviously our office team, and we do spinal screenings from our portion of it, but we organize it, we put it together, it's in our space. And so we'll have those other people for Pampered Chef or whoever else have their circles of people. We'll invite them, and then we have people that we've never come in contact with, but they came to support their other, their other friends with their other businesses, and then all of a sudden everybody is cross-challenging each other as far as their different groups and such. So those are awesome, and there's a ton of them going around. A lot of these people go from ladies' night to ladies' night, lots of places. So just have to start asking. But that's another resource, is some of these friends that you know from church or elsewhere that have that are selling 31, Pampered Chef, Party Light, all the different things out there. That's an option.
Yeah. Yeah, you could even just team up in somebody's house with your friends that sell other things and have like a party ladies' night at the house. It doesn't necessarily have to be at a business. So I think that's a really cool idea too.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of those people, if you're trying to get your first 4 customers, you could barter with them. Like, hey, I'll buy a 31 bag if you become my loyal customer. I mean, you can barter some of those things too.
Yep.
I was just going to give a quick update if I could. Tuesday night at our meeting, we talked about the cleanse. Our cleanse showed up on Wednesday, and so Zoe and I did our 2 days of remove with the cleanse product on Thursday and Friday. And by Friday morning, midday, after my 3rd bottle, I just felt more at ease inside. It did not create a whole lot more of bathroom activity, just so you all know. And that's something I got to thinking about. It may take 3 or 4 times of doing that before you notice anything extra going on bowel-wise, because it's having an effect on the digestive system, the internal flora. So if somebody's going to have a 2-day remove process with the 1 box of cleanse and expect to lose 6 or 8 pounds, don't plan on that. I think you better plan on it being something you do more regularly and see those effects. So everybody's going to be different. Some people might have a quick result, but then again, if you're not eating as well, you'll probably have a potentially more drastic response because of removing stuff. And if you're eating fairly well, then the 2 days or the 4 days of remove really aren't much different than your normal daily diet anyway. So you just have to realize that. And they said no more than once a week. And I honestly think, if you did it weekly for 4 to 6 weeks and then 2 weeks and then go to once a month, that might be a better way to introduce that into your system and get some good positive things built up and happening. So just pass that on to people that you hear about and talk to that said, I didn't notice anything in 2 days, so it's not a good product. It's just getting started. You got to give it, like everything else, you got to give it some time.
Awesome. Bryce, you might have some, hold on. You might have some advice on that. Melanie's asking if you would think it would be okay to use while nursing.
They come from the standpoint of probably not. There's just so much going on when you nurse that your antibodies, in fact, it changes every day what that baby receives from the mother based on the needs of the baby, and through saliva skin contact from the baby, that actually determines, the nutrient content of the milk that you're providing it. It's crazy on the microbiology and microchemistry side of it. So we do have to be real careful, I think. So I don't have a good answer on that yet.
Okay. Sounds good.
It's going to say
Hey guys, the corporate call starts in 15 minutes. In case you don't have the phone number, I'm going to go ahead and type it in here. But this is something that you guys want to save in your contacts of your phone. Like, I don't have to look this up ever because it's just my contacts. And then I save the password with the contacts as well. So I'm going to type it in here so you have it in case you don't. There's the phone number, and the code is 489675. So it starts in 15 minutes, so make sure you get on there. They're every Sunday night for any of you newbies. Every Sunday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and they last like 10 to 15 minutes. They're not long at all. Same phone number for the Monday night calls, so I just save it in my phone as It Works conference call line. Monday night calls are at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. So don't miss these. These are seriously the things that changed my business from the get-go.
Can I get that number again?
It's in the chat log.
Okay. I don't know how to do that. What do I do? I'm just new at this.
It's 712 432
Okay.
7580.
All right.
And then the code is 489675. I also posted it in Legacy Makers, and there, if you can't get on the call for whatever reason, there's also, with the post every week, you should add It Works Global to your Facebook friends list, like their page, and they post it pretty much every week too. There's a link you can click on, and you can listen to it online too.
It Globes Works.
It Works Global.
Okay. And just add them on Facebook?
Yep, you can just, it's a page that you can just click it. And then I actually set, you can like set how often you see people's stuff. So I just set it to follow every post. So it's the first post that shows up in my newsfeed all the time.
And there's an email that comes out too. Like I got an email today that has all of the call information on it.
Yep, you should get a weekly wrap-up every Sunday that will have all the information in it too. All right, guys. Zoe and
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you so much. All right, y'all. Have a good night. And
Hey, what did I miss?
oh, it's
Did I
over.
miss anything? I just logged in. I was on a road. Oh,
All right. We just did
I
all
was on a road.
about a party, but we're getting off now so we can get on the corporate call.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Happy Valentine's.